moment of silence, and please remember George O'Connor. He was one of our custodians from Westbrook School who passed away this past week. Please remember his family and remember him. Thank you. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, a public notice of this meeting has been sent to board members, all district schools, the Herald News, the Trends, the Record, the Messenger, West Milford Town Hall, the County Superintendent's Office, the Board Attorney, and Cablevision of Warwick, and posted in the Administration Building. Copies of the board meeting calendar resolution were provided to all open media, Town Hall, Town Library, and all district schools. Roll call, Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Romeo.
Here.
Mr. Seidowitz. Mr. Drew. Mrs. Dwyer.
Here.
Mr. Guarino.
Here.
Mrs. Fritz.
Here.
Mr. Obshinsky.
Here.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Here. Dr. Animo.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our November meeting, and happy Thanksgiving, a little bit early. So our first bullet point here, we have an update on the MACPIN grade configuration committees. So our subcommittees have been meeting throughout the fall, September, October. I think we might have 1 or 2 meetings left in November, different committees. One is tomorrow, I believe, and I don't have the other dates off the top of my head. So we're wrapping that up now. I plan to have this to the board, ready to the board, as soon as I have everything collated and collected. I do plan on making a presentation for the board prior to the vote. So that'll be either December or January. I could present this to the Board of Education and obviously to the community as well, what the committees have learned and what the recommendation will be. So when the board does vote, it'll be an informed opinion, and everybody will know what they're voting on. And if they have any questions, we can take time out of that meeting to certainly have those questions answered. Okay.
Does anybody have anything for tonight? Okay.
Next up, our monthly progress toward district goals. About 2 weeks ago, the state released and also embargoed the ESSA accountability profiles for the schools and for the district. ESSA is the new No Child Left Behind, and they release these accountability profiles once a year, and they give them to the districts first. So we got them about 2 weeks ago. But unfortunately, the information is embargoed. I can say that we do have overwhelmingly positive accountability profiles that once we're able to share publicly, we will. So the state will give us a date when we can share this with the board and with the community. But you're going to see market growth and market improvement at all 8 schools and obviously the district as a whole. So we're really excited about that. And we just don't know when we can share it, but it'll hopefully be very shortly. Okay. And next up, you have a picture on the board members have a picture. Looks something like this. This is one of our students, Stephen Chmielewski, and his teacher, Mr. Beatty, in Wood 4 class. They made, as you know, we did the greenhouses already. We renovated at MACPIN in the high school. So this is some of the furniture that they're making for the high school greenhouse. And they're going to be installing that along the walls, tables, shelving, so that they can put different pots and different plants at different levels, and they'll use basically the whole greenhouse from the floor to the ceiling, or at least close to it. At the high school right now, they're using the greenhouse with some of these tables to test the effects of different conditions on seed germination. All right, and we have a similar project going on at MACPIN. We just don't have that woodwork finished yet. So thank you again to the board for their support for those 2 projects. And our student representative, Mr. Renna.
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to start with an announcement that through the spectacular event on October 26th, the high school and MACPIN student councils were able to raise $4,000 for Cheryl's Den Animal Rescue, 11th Hour Rescue, West Milford Animal Shelter, and Apshawa Fire Department. On behalf of the student councils, I would like to thank these organizations for what they have done and their contribution to this town. We are also planning to donate food to a local food bank and a day of giving in December to collect gifts for those in need. The district is busy as always, with many events going on throughout the month of November and into December. In the beginning of the month, the 7th graders went on a 3-day overnight trip to Fairview. While on the trip, they were able to bond with their friends and make new ones while enjoying what the YMCA camp has to offer. On November 5th, high school students listened to speakers ranging from multiple different careers during Career Day, gaining valuable information about jobs that they might be interested in the future. In addition, Macabin students will get to do the same thing on November 25th. On Election Day, elementary students were able to see what it was like to vote during their Vote Ed event and at their schools. And the Highlander Marching Band invited Clifton's Marching Band and multiple bagpipe groups on Saturday, November 9th to recognize our veterans and first responders during Veterans Day weekend. Following this, on Monday, November 11th, elementary school students recognized veterans during Veterans Day assemblies. On November 15th, parents of elementary students were asked to attend their school with their young students during Parent Visit Day. The sciences are coming into action in our district. On November 18th, the Science Honor Society inducted their newest members during the induction ceremony. And in addition, young students who participate in LU were able to display their projects during Project Night. Upcoming events include the high school volleyball tournament, which is on November 21st and being hosted by the Junior Class Council. Parent-teacher conferences are next week from November 25th to the 27th, which leads into Thanksgiving Day recess. And on December 5th, seniors will have the chance to interview with colleges during on-site decision day. And as the seasons begin to shift from fall to winter, new sports and activities are beginning, and we hope that our Highlanders continue to succeed in their winter sports. We are also approaching our winter concerts, in which you can see our high school choir perform on December 5th and our Macabin choir perform on December 12th. Also, the Macabin band will have their concert on December 18th and the high school band on December 19th. Are there any questions? All right, thank you.
Brian, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
Brian, December 5th was which school?
December 5th was the high school choir.
Okay, and December 12th was Macapin.
Yes,
Thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Novak.
Good evening. I'm going to just a few brief announcements in regard to Parent Visitation Day and parent-teacher conferences next week. I've mentioned a few times in regard to the fingertip report that is coming through our data analysis system called Linkit. We do anticipate that fingertip report will be available for parents to review on Monday and Tuesday at conferences. And parents and families should expect a Honeywell to come out on Friday that's going to include a digital copy with redacted names, no identifiable information. So parents and families can see a sample of what that fingertip report will look like. And I will include some information sort of describing what the document is, just so that the entire parent-teacher conference isn't taken with the teacher having to explain what this thing is. So I'm going to try and get that information out in advance. Parents can also expect to see, along with the report card in those conferences, the STAR Math report that we've been doing for, I believe this is our third year, having STAR Math reports available. So that'll be available in grades 2 through 8 at the conference as well. And again, just want to let everyone know to expect that Honeywell on Friday. That'll be descriptive, and it's going to be worth giving it a good read and trying to understand that document before going into that parent-teacher conference.
Mrs. Francisco?
The board minutes from October 29th are available for your review and consideration.
Okay, I need a motion. Dave? Debbie? Any discussion about the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Good evening, Mrs. Heller. We'd like to welcome you from the New Jersey School Boards. Mrs. Heller is here to speak with us about our strategic planning tonight.
Thank you very much.
Floor is
Thanks for
yours.
having me. It is a pleasure to be back in West Milford.
Thank
You're very welcome. Nothing fancy tonight, but I'm really pleased to come and talk to you all about strategic planning. So, I don't have any, if you don't mind, Andrew.
No, I don't like, I'll
Here.
just,
You can
my
look
feelings
like
never get hurt.
On another thing. Just like
Brian
reading to
apparently
do.
thinks less than I do.
He's not planning on it.
I don't even know what that's called.
If you really want to look, I can.
Thanks. No, it's fine. Yeah.
So really what I'm just kind of looking to have with you guys tonight, no tech, no PowerPoints or anything fancy, it's just a conversation about strategic planning and the process and how West Milford would like to, would like to actualize something like that. And it really is an honest pleasure to talk to this group in particular about it because I know that West Milford knows how to use a strategic plan. Board and administration bought in wholly to your last strategic plan, and I know that that was formed with stakeholder input, and it just informed the work of the district for the entire 5 years that you had it before it matured. So what we're looking to do is kind of renew that process over again. You don't want a strategic plan to last for any longer than 5 years, really, because education changes so rapidly, and there's so many moving parts and different factors that come into play from 5 years ago. The 3 to 5 years really are the ideal lifespans for a strategic plan. And Linda, if you wouldn't mind, on your last strategic plan, do you recall the process for that?
I wasn't here for the last strategic plan.
I was.
Okay.
Probably the only one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie, what I could do is I could tell you how we do it now, and if it's been, there were 2 different programs that New Jersey School Board facilitates to boards of education.
Okay.
And I believe the one that you used was called the 3D plan, and that's the one that is by and away the more popular. There's also something called a traditional plan, but I'll lead with the 3D plan. And that one is, it's really a very streamlined, but a very comprehensive process at the same time. It comes together over 3 meetings, 3 90-minute meetings with all of your stakeholders. Typically, a school district will issue a blanket invitation, publicize it on the website, go in home and school newsletters, press releases, all sorts of different ways of getting the word out to any stakeholder who would like to attend. And in that first meeting, I see you nodding, so this sounds so good. Okay, excellent. And we start that meeting out with data, right? With a state of the district report that is delivered by administration. And after that, and everyone's kind of on the same page with where the district is right now, where it has been, what are the, initiatives coming up, or any kind of concerns that are on the horizon, we break into small groups. And then, okay, so I've got it right, okay. And this is really, honestly, this is my favorite way of doing a strategic plan too. So I'm not surprised that your plan came out of this process. And we talk about the strengths and the challenges as the participants see it. And then we report out in a large group. Everybody reads over their work. I encode it into a report, issue it to the board. You kind of put it on your website, disseminate it for everyone to see. Because at our next meeting, which is also 90 minutes, any stakeholder can come again. Typically, we have it set up so that anyone can attend 1, 2, 3, a combo of meetings. You're kind of free as your schedule allows you to attend and participate.
Okay, but when we broke into groups, or correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there a group for a specific component or area of our educational community, and then one was finances and one was...
Eventually, we do get there.
Oh,
You're absolutely
okay.
right. No, you're absolutely right. Because we're still kind of forming what those areas are going to be.
Okay.
We don't really know what all of your stakeholders are going to say, this is where we want you to focus, right? And those focus areas become the goal areas,
right.
become the goal statements,
Right.
and
Okay.
become the objectives. Before we get there, we have that first meeting, and then we have a second one where we talk about our vision for the district. It's really a fun meeting, and we break up into, those randomly assigned small groups again, work together, report out. That's a real feel-good meeting. That's a terrific one. And by the time that all of that work comes together, by the end of the second meeting, I guarantee you will see common threads starting to show up through all of the group's work over this first meeting, over the second meeting. And from there, we'll be able to discern what the goal areas should be, right? I'm sure teaching and learning is going to show up in there. Maybe finance and facilities, maybe safety, maybe social emotional learning. We don't know, right? It could be anything. Each plan is as unique as the district that it comes from. And it comes from the ground up, which is why it's, such a great process, really. It's not like Trenton's feeding you anything. This comes from here. And then at that third meeting, we do the small group thing again, but you self-select. If teaching and learning is one of the goal areas, and that's my passion, that's where I'm going to work. If I'm more of a dollars and cents person and finance and facilities is a goal area, that's the group that I will work in. And together your participants work on draft goal statements and draft objectives. Afterwards, we get together with administration, make sure that it's, workable, fine-tune it, get it into a document that the board can peruse and approve. It needs to be formally approved by the board, and then you have your roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years, depending on how you want, we kind of identify at the beginning of the process what lifespan you want it to have, and that helps to guide things along.
But can I throw something in there?
Sure.
What I found most impressive is that we had people from the community that we would normally never see. We had business people, we had retirees, we had people, that didn't have any vested interest in the district, either no children or their children have graduated and have gone through the system. And it was very nice because you got to, usually people who come to board meetings, there's a vested interest, rightly so, but they came in to really, to have their point of view brought to the table, and I thought that was a really awesome thing.
I think that's a really awesome thing too. And you know what, you guys must have really promoted it very well.
Yes, we did.
That's key in getting participants out there. And I went through strategic planning in my own district as a school board member, and I found those conversations to be the most rewarding. And even as I'm typing up the outcomes, I find that work rewarding because it's just wonderful to see all of the viewpoints and all of the visions that are brought to the table during this process. I mean, it's not something that you can guess. It's something that rises organically, and it's different in every district.
Are we all participants?
You can be participants.
Okay.
That is kind of a case-by-case basis, whatever the board decides. If you were all to participate, and I do think that that is a good idea, but it's up to you, you would advertise as a board meeting. You'd open it just like you would normally, Linda, and then we would disperse through to the strategic planning portion of the meeting, and you'd close it. You'd have flag salute, time for public commentary, typical meeting. But it's a really good process.
That's what
we had it at the high school cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
Now, we can do, we've moved away from a lot of that weekend stuff, but if you wanted to, because I'll tell you.
It was a weekday.
Oh, okay, I thought you said
We moved
weekend.
it because, location for
Good.
whatever reason at that time.
Yeah, that's not a bad, and you know what, that brings out participants from that particular school community. They're more apt to participate if it's going on in their children's school or the school that they graduated from. Another great constituency to have as part of your strategic planning process are your students. So that's something that you can consider as well. And what I have been telling districts is that if you are going to, if you are interested in having your students as part of the process, and you should be, you may want to note that it's a great line to have on a college application that you participated in the strategic planning process. We take everyone's name down and it's typed up, it's printed in the book. So it's pretty cool. And you have an active role in helping to guide the district broadly. It's not like you're going to come in and say, well, I want a swimming pool and I wanted these measurements and this is what, that's not going to happen. We're talking about, visionary things. We're talking about, what's right for the kids in West Milford now and going forward. So it's really rewarding I love doing them. I typically, myself and another field service representative would come out and we'd facilitate the process from start to finish. And I really can't say enough great things about it. I know I'm chirping a lot, and I'm wondering if you guys have any questions on it that I haven't quite addressed.
Over time, how long over time, like the 3 meetings, how?
I would work with you, and that's different for each district. Normally, it's 1 per month, but sometimes a district feels that keeping the momentum going is the better option, so we might do, 1 every 2 weeks or something like that. It depends on your school calendar. You certainly don't want to do this on the night of a big event at one of the schools or a big event in the town. A colleague of mine we were all set to go in for a strategic planning. I got a blast call. It's the town Christmas tree lighting. You can't do that night. So, you do have to kind of coordinate that sort of of scheduling. And I'll come out beforehand, during business hours and sit with you all and identify the right dates.
Anybody have any questions?
When does is it something that starts in the new year, or like when does it start? Like,
Oh,
when does it
yeah,
start?
you have to pass a resolution, it costs $4,000 to do it, and then we set the calendar. But we're probably, I'm guessing, we're looking like the spring.
Yeah, I think we'd have to get past budget time. And,
Yeah,
do you know what, because our meetings for budget,
yeah.
we have extra meetings built into our calendar for the budget, so I would.
Weather could be an issue. Winter.
Yeah, so I think it would be more effective if we did it after like April, like some April and May
I'm
or
thinking
something.
April and May is probably where we'll wind up, but we'll see. I mean, sometimes those months are challenging, we'll work together. What was I going to say? Something just kind of flew out of my head. Oh yeah, you also want time to promote it, right? Because you mentioned how many different stakeholders. You're not going to get that many if you start in, let's say, December or January. You just don't have enough time to create the kind of outreach that you probably want to. And I have, promotional materials and templates that you can use to, help you do just that.
I think the ideal thing would be to put it out when we do our reorganization meeting, to vote on it at the same time when the new board is seated, and then we could move forward from there and see how our time frame fits as far as, having the public come out. Barb, do you remember how we did it? You were here for that, right? So the plan lasted for 5 years. The plan that we're working with, it's 5 years now, right? So, I'm
5 years moving forward seems about right.
yeah, right? I think, when I read what came out of the other one, I feel like we're in a good,
So I think it's a lot of work, so to do it for 3 years,
yeah.
you're not really getting that much out of it. I think 5 years is good. Longer than that, it's kind of tough.
It can
So,
be.
I think
Longer
5
than
years.
that, I would never advise. Shorter than that, it depends on the district, but I think a well-written plan is broad enough that you can make it work for 5 years. And you're right, it is a lot of work, it is a lot. And also, I've been to your goal-setting sessions. I know you base all your goals off of the plan, so it keeps it alive, Your plan's a breathing document, which is exactly how we want them, Sometimes you facilitate and it sits on the shelf, what are you gonna do? But you guys don't do that here. So, and that's just a way of honoring your public's work, because there's really few things worse than asking people to come out and participate and do all this stuff, and then just kind of ignoring what they have to say, So that doesn't happen here, that's the really good news.
And I do think our community is in a different place now than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think so too. But like she said earlier, education's changed tremendously in the last
Right.
5 years. And I really think, and going back to the 2 years, 5 years or anything like that, so much changes in 5 years, and all around. So it would be a good time to do it next year, but if you're doing it in April and May, we gotta really make sure you get it done before crunch time, before, the graduation and all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems to me like that's a good spot, because people don't mind coming out to a meeting in the springtime, because the weather's not
easier than the winter, man.
The winter,
Yeah.
it's just,
Absolutely.
you're dealing with snow or ice and cancellation and trying to
Yeah, no,
reschedule
that's
is
not a
not.
good, no.
Plus, adding another meeting on top of the budget meetings, to me, seem like, it's kind of
Rather intense.
tiresome to a degree.
Yeah. So it is on our website under the community tab. You can click right on the strategic plan. Kate and I were just going through now. It looks like March is when they started it.
Okay, well, that.
Yeah, 5 years ago,
And
so.
it was adopted September 23rd of 2014, so we're within the good
Kind
time,
of right
yeah.
in that time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want the skeleton in place before the summer, so that when you're making your administration goals and you're thinking about your board goals, you can build off of what you know you're going to approve, right? You know, so that's ideal. That's ideal. Having those meetings done before the summer, before your goal setting sessions,
Yeah.
that's your best practice. You know, we'll see how it works out. And I just want to note, and I think, you know, I'm a big fan of that 3D. There's also in some of them, I think Kate, you got the only one that's just 3D.
We did the 3D
Okay.
one in 2014.
Perfect. I just don't want to
Yeah,
confuse
we
it
did.
when some of those booklets have the traditional as the lead one. I'm not too crazy about that one, if only because
Yeah, mine
there's
is in the
more
back.
meetings and you
Still.
focus on a core group of volunteers and the same
It says
will
that
come.
we did 3D.
And that's kind of difficult for a lot of communities, and it's just not as efficient. It's also a little more expensive, so.
It seems like we got very good results using the 3D one last time, from what you're
It
saying.
was probably the, I hate to use this word, but it's the only thing that comes to mind. It's like intense because there were so many people that were genuinely interested and genuinely, you know, it was a good meeting of the minds. And I thought it was such a positive result overall, and a positive outcome, and a positive experience from all parties. So I would even like to be part of this next time around if I am around. So, but it's definitely worthwhile for the educational community.
So Kathy, you have the school systems listed. There's 3D, there's the R next to some of them.
Oh,
What
R
about
means
schools that?
renewal, yeah.
Okay. What about the schools that don't have something next to them? What's that mean?
That probably means it's a traditional.
just
And
traditional?
they're probably mostly Monmouth County districts. The traditional is huge in Monmouth County.
Well, there's Wayne and Sparta. That's why I was
Sparta, I
asking.
just redid Sparta, and we did it with the 3D
Okay.
process, and it went really well. Went really well. And you know, the key to having these be as rewarding as Debbie mentions is to have all different stakeholder groups, you know? And you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, you want families, you want people who are alums, you want people who are community members, you want staff, you want admin.
Yep.
And board members
It
all
was a nice turnout.
participating and sitting together at the same tables and, you know, talking about, these are the conversations that really matter, you know? When I work with boards, a lot of times the question that really nettles boards and board members is, well, how do we communicate with our community? We know it's supposed to be a two-way street, how do we do that? This is the best way to do that. These are the important conversations, you know, so.
I do think it's best that all the board participate, because it gives you a good feel of what's coming. You know, you're hearing it, it's not being conveyed to you secondhand from somebody else. You'll be able to hear it and be able to interact with the community and get the kind of feedback that we're looking for.
And Linda, we were asked to participate of the entire board.
Yeah, I think it would,
So,
I think it's best that
Yeah.
it's a board as a whole, you know, objective here.
That's great.
Any other questions?
Thank you very
All
much.
right, well,
Thanks,
thank you,
Kathy.
Kathy, thank you for coming tonight, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, and if any questions arise, give me a call, let me know.
I'll touch base with you and then.
Beautiful. All right, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy
Thank you, too.
Thanksgiving. Thank you, Kathy.
Community.
Yes.
I really don't have anything much under my report this month, so.
Mrs. Van Dyke, I did attend the tattoo.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yes.
that's okay. And that tattoo was phenomenal as usual. And I think we have to thank Dr. McLaughlin, Mr. Gramada, and the whole staff of music people for what they put together and what they performed. It was incredible. The only disappointing thing was that the Bergen County firefighters were not there. And they do this thing with bagpipes and rock music that is
Yeah.
phenomenal. So that was a little disappointing. But other than that, it was a night to remember, as usual. You were there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh.
Okay, so, thank you to the music department.
Thank you for going.
Color different.
Ray's stealing my
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thief.
So we'll move on to public comment. This portion of the meeting is open to members of the public for the purpose of addressing resolutions on this agenda only. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be recognized by the chair first. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting, other public comment limited to 5 minutes per speaker will be allowed until the 30-minute time period transpires. All members of the public speaking during this public comment period are asked to address topics listed in the agenda. All speakers are asked to sign the register provided and to give their full name, spell their last name, and group affiliation if appropriate, and provide their address. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and respectful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged. The board and the administration will not respond to them. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded to them by the laws of New Jersey. The board is not responsible and is not liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments. Members of the public are reminded they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone wishing to speak under public comment?
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, and I have a couple of edits to make to the agenda, very briefly. On page 4 of the agenda, under education, number 3. Number 3 is going to be pulled from the agenda. It's replaced by the hand carry.
Would you repeat that? I didn't.
Education number 3 is
Okay.
replaced by the hand carry.
Okay.
And on page 5, education number 5, we have to add a HIB. One just came in yesterday morning.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be 2020/H5, and that's substantiated. Next up is page 6, Personnel Student Affairs. Resolution number 4 is going to be pulled and replaced with a hand carry. And lastly, on page number 9, Personnel Student Affairs, resolution number 19 is going to be pulled altogether.
Say that again?
Resolution number 19, on page 9, it has been pulled from the agenda. Okay, that's it.
And 21's added?
And the hand carry we have here,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda with all of the
Amendments?
hand carries and amendments. Yeah, thank you.
You got it, I knew you were going.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Education, Mrs. Dwyer.
Okay. Move to accept and approve the recommendations of the superintendent, numbers 1 through 4.
Question? Just ask a quick question. So was that, number 3, was that, it looked like it was going to be a lump sum payment, now it's a per diem payment? Is that because we don't know how long?
It
Student.
actually had to do with the student start date.
No.
So the student start date was modified, and you never really know exactly what the start date will be, but it's anticipated that the start date will be December 2nd for the student. So that's why we changed it to a daily. You'll see the per diem rate. The total, though, I had a feeling this might come up with the board, so the total is now $19,486.60 for the year. But again, that might change by a day or two. So Barbara and I felt it would be best to word it the new way.
Great.
To allow some flexibility.
And I think it's a
But we're happy
testament,
about it.
yeah, I think it's a testament to our Highlander Academy and what we're doing, that we've got
So this is a receivable,
coming
this is a
from
student
outside.
coming in from Lakeland to our academy, our Highlander Academy, so great job, Dr. McQuaid. This does help offset our cost associated with that program.
And hopefully that will open the door.
We did get another, after following this inquiry, we did get another inquiry from another district that's going to be coming and touring again, so
Okay, very good.
it's a good thing. So
Any
kudos
other-
to the program and the staff that work over there. Ms. Ludwig.
It's a good thing. We were very impressed when we came to view the program, so I'm hopeful that when other schools come to look at it, that they'll be as impressed as we are.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, roll call, Mrs. Francisco? Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Yes. And the motion for the HIP, that'll be after.
After executive session.
We'll need executive
Yeah.
session for personnel, Mrs. Fritz.
Sure. I'd like to move items 1 through 20, and then the new number 4 on the hand carry and number 21 on the hand carry.
Second.
Discussion? Anyone have anything? No discussion? Mrs. Francisco, roll call, please. Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Abstain from 14 and 15, yes to the rest.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Abstain for 13, yes to the rest.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Yes. Operations and Finance, Mr. Guarino.
I'd like to move items 1 through 3 under Operations and Finance.
Any discussion? Not Mrs. Francisco? Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Yes.
I'd like to move item number 4 under Operations and Finance.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco? Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Yes.
I'd like to move item number 5 under Operations and Finance.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco? Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Abstain.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Yes.
I'd like to move item number 6 under Operations and Finance.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco? Mrs. Romeo?
Abstain.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Abstain.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Abstain. Okay. Number 7?
I'd like to move item number 7 under Operations and Finance.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco? Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz? Yes. Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
And I'd like to move item number 8 under operations and finance.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Oshinsky?
Yeah.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Carino. Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes, fun time at policy time. I can move items 1 through 9 under policy.
Any second?
Second.
Discussion? Okay. Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Oshinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
That concludes policy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On to committee reports. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Carino.
So I think the biggest thing coming out of Parks and Recreation, they're looking forward to 2020 and a
Did I miss something?
stop.
I just noticed that,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, under hand carry for
Yeah. Thank
personal
you.
student affairs, did we do 21?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
we did.
21.
Yeah, she did
did.
it. She included it in
I
the,
included it.
She did.
Yes, she did.
When Nicole moved it, she moved it with 21.
she said and hand carry.
And hand carry.
I didn't write it down that way, sorry. Sorry,
You okay? Okay.
I'm sorry.
I lost my train of thought, so I'm... Pond field, and now in 2020, they're going to work to completely revamp Farrow Field, which is a long time coming.
That's it?
Yep.
Safety, there was no safety meeting this month. So I think the next one's in January, right?
So I probably won't remember a lot of it.
Yeah, well, you
but
could
it
just
was,
go.
It was a good meeting. We talked a little bit about, making my brain hurt.
Give an update on Macapin.
Yeah.
Macapin, we talked about some of the math. We spent
spelling
a good bit
program.
on
We
the
were
math
talking about the spelling
program. I think answered a lot of questions from folks around the room there. What else? That was we spent a good bit of time on that for sure.
Yeah, we did talk, that was, we had a good
We had
conversation.
a couple of different spelling programs that
Yeah.
we're using.
Yep.
And we're
Explain the pilots.
pilot program in one school, different program in another school. We're looking to see how those different programs go.
Okay. Passaic County School Boards. Mrs. Dwyer and I attended the Passaic County School Board meeting, which was a very interesting meeting. They had a person who does branding from Montville School District, which is their schools are very similar.
$1,000.
She's a part-time employee for the district that does
Yeah.
the branding for them, but
Crazy.
Is she a grant writer also, or just the branding?
I
Just the branding.
I don't
She's
think she
an
was a grant
independent-
writer, I don't
No,
think so.
it was an independent
Yeah,
contractor.
she has her own independent business that she does.
So everything's all under one Montville
It's
Mustangs?
the green and, like, they
Right.
have green and yellow, and they have a Mustang as their
Mascot?
mascot. In the elementary buildings, they kept their colors, because some of the buildings were like blue and white, and they kept their colors, but they brought like, almost like a coat of arms as the letterhead, and it had like it had a Mustang, but it kept their mascot and their colors in it. It was very interesting how they brought the district together and got them all on the same kind of plane moving forward, because we've been having the discussions on wanting to bring everybody in as black and gold.
Junior
and
Highlanders.
as, Highlanders or junior Highlanders. So it was a very interesting and issues that we're facing as far as, instead of having a district of schools, it's a school district, so everybody is one, and that's what they're trying, what the branding really is trying to do, is to bring everybody together as one school district instead of separate schools. So, New Jersey school boards, I think that kind of fell under the same meeting. They had just talked about the school board, the school board member who is from Clifton, who won the school board member of the
year.
New Jersey
Judy.
School Board,
Judy.
Judy from Clifton.
Passed it,
So
but-
that was, interesting.
The thing that I liked about our meeting was they also talked about mental. This board needs to talk more about, in light of the fact that 1 out of every 4 kids, there's an issue and we have to address it. I mean, we can't solve it, but we can help.
They put out there. We didn't get a copy of it that night. You had to go online.
He said he was going to email it to us. We haven't gotten it
We
yet.
got the email of the PowerPoint, but we didn't get the email of the booklet itself. I probably have to contact
I'll
them.
dig it up.
Yeah, because it was very interesting. They did a whole interview process with students and staff members, and how, how you could, get a group in your own school to kind of facilitate some of these issues and help.
And they talked about a wellness room,
Right.
which I liked, where if a student feels stressed and he can't sit in a class, he can go to that room and he can have a respite, and there's a lot of things, a lot of things that we have to look at for our kids.
Didn't Highlander Academy have one of those rooms,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So
Oh, did it? School should have that little
This
room.
was the high school itself.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it obviously serves a good
Yes.
purpose.
It's mental health.
Yeah, I will promise I'll say something intelligent this time and not go into a panic mode. But 5 years ago,
Right.
But it has to be.
So, again, that's why we need to do something like that, because it is now brought to our, to the table, and it's very important for our kids. So definitely when you meet next year and start working on that, that definitely needs to be brought up, up front and center and discussed and worked on.
And there was the other topic, they talked about the non-college bound learner too, which is another study that they just completed through New Jersey school boards. And Terry and I invited Dr. Dan Sinclair from Lakeland to come over and look at our VOTEC programs so that they could get a good insight to how, when you're a comprehensive high school, what you're trying to do to help facilitate that in your own district. So I'm looking forward to showing off our programs there. So, legislative.
Yeah,
Would you
I
like
told
to
him
do it?
I would, yeah,
Good.
he'd reached out,
I'll
so.
let you do it then.
Thanks.
A lot of it's not a.
He just said that the January 14th, Senator Sweeney, he will become president again, so he'll be the longest-running Senate president in New Jersey history. Minimum wage will go up to $11 an hour on January 1st. And remember, the goal is by 2024, the minimum wage will be $15 an hour. And then the last piece was in June, the anti-bullying legislation, which we commonly know as Mallory's Law, was passed in the state Senate. So be on the lookout for potential things with regard to the Assembly and that bill, maybe some things happening during this lame duck session. So that's it. So I think it's Eastern Datacom, they'll be at a few schools end of this year to help provide some much-needed cell phone coverage to a few of our schools where way with if you use Windows, if you use OS X, there's a certain shelf life that a company will support software. So we have some computers where we feel like we might be getting to the end of life on that. And again, just computers in general, the useful life is probably about 4 years. And we've started this program a number of years ago, so we're reaching the shelf life for some of our computers. So Robert, Dan, Alex, Barbara, they're going through and looking at our Chromebooks and working to replace some of those in the next year. So I think there'll be more to that coming in the future. If you want to expand, you can, but I think that in the future there'll be some pretty neat stuff coming. And then I think probably the last big piece that came out of that is I know how to improve those things. In particular, we just had this happen when we were looking at the strategic plan. When you pull up the menu, Kate and I were doing this, and Kate was clicking. We were clicking on the name.
Community.
You clicked on the name community like 3 times, and it brings you right back. You click on the arrow, and then it works. So I think that to make it more user friendly, that'll help. We don't know whether or not that can happen with with what we're using, but I think Robert is working on that. And then the other piece, which he has worked on, has gotten better. If you're looking at your phone straight up and down, sometimes you lose a piece of the text on the side, and once you turned it, you could see it. I think that's gotten much better in recent weeks. So we're all using these devices more than we are our computers. We're using this to look at things. Some people, as we were talking about the strategic plan, they might have been sitting there just like we were going, hey, let's look at the strategic plan online. So, and we're doing it on mobile devices. So it's great that our website is kind of growing, and we appreciate the feedback from everybody.
Do you have apps and that bring you right into their website? Or some districts also have like a barcode or these things that are being discussed, like you're looking.
An app is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's I've seen both different districts. Some just have an app that you download the app onto your phone, and then when you click it, it brings you into their website. And then it's mobile, obviously.
And I know in talking.
Others have a QR that you could just scan it and it brings you into their.
Yeah. In talking to Robert from an app perspective, really what they do isn't technically an app. All it is it's just right.
It's bringing you.
So and you can actually save the website so it looks like an app on your phone.
Right.
Most websites now, they make them responsive so that they build it for the computer, but then if you're on a tablet, it shrinks it for that, and then on a mobile device.
To me today. I was on my tablet and I couldn't log in because the login was underneath the bar. So I see where the quirks are.
Yep, for sure.
That it?
Yep.
Well, I have 2 other questions. Just. Right.
We replace everything when it's end of life. So Ray mentioned 4 years, we're getting maybe 5
right.
out of them, just to stretch the life a little bit longer, but everything gets replaced when it's no longer functional.
I think we're doing desktops
Well, office staff
Depends
jobs
on
have.
on the program
Yeah.
too, because certainly some of the programs have Apple computers, the Macs and things like
Right.
that. But it depends on the program.
And do we have like one-to-one for staff or students? Do we hand out
have for staff.
Chromebooks to anyone?
At this time, we have for staff.
Staff has Chromebooks? Yeah, just curious, I'm just catching up.
Staff received Chromebooks maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I believe 2 years ago, we got a little money for, left over for staff, so we got all the staff Chromebooks.
Show and tell.
Yeah, Chantel.
On those devices.
Thanks, yeah. And so, like, instead of replacing desktops, we can just have that and have a docking station, like those types of things. I'm just,
Back
So,
through, it comes
yeah.
back through Ray and then comes back through the individual committees. We were talking about the Chromebooks the other day.
Yeah, good.
The other
Love it.
committee meeting, because it does look like we're getting closer to that number that we want to be at where everybody has a Chromebook.
yeah.
So that, that's, as we're aging out, we're kind of,
Absolutely, yeah.
trying to
Thank
meet
you.
that need. Any other questions? Township and Board of Ed Joint Committee, Mrs. Dwyer?
We had a meeting this month, and Mayor Dale was concerned about Hillcrest and the bid that we received. So we talked about that a little bit. And that our garbage is going to be doubled in price. So that means our taxes are an albatross, and we're working on it. Thank you.
CASA, was there?
No, there.
Have they-
Had any meetings since they've named that person?
Well, so the meetings were scheduled on holidays. So it was Veterans Day and the holiday, so,
Columbus Day.
yeah, they were both, our normal
Bad
meeting day
days,
would have been
yeah.
both on holidays.
Okay.
So they're rescheduled.
That's good.
I don't either.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Hopefully December we'll have an update.
Okay. Old business? If not, we need a motion.
Make a motion to close old business.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? New business.
Veterans Day. Did you want to talk about Veterans Day?
I can, but if you want to talk.
No,
about-
you were there. I wasn't.
Okay. You actually should say something because you were honored as a veteran, right?
I was, yeah, so
So-
at Marshall
What were
Hill,
you in?
Marshall Hill, I know a bunch of schools had. I was sitting with a gentleman that, had a student at Marshall Hill. He commented that it was so fantastic, he thought to hear from some of our veterans, so thank you to all of those that have served.
I want to say that I attended Westbrook. Normally, I do go to PK, but I went to Westbrook this year because my grandson's here, and he had my son-in-law, Michael, here, who's a Marine, who's serving he's in New York, stationed in New York right now. And it was a very proud moment as a mother-in-law, but even prouder just to see how our schools, each school is doing such a remarkable job at honoring our veterans, and the turnout is just so wonderful. I actually went to the monument on Veterans Day too, and I had a nice turnout, that there was a good group of people there. And we do need to remember that and be thankful. And, we are thankful. The soldiers serve, but their families serve too, so, yeah, I was going to.
Sure do.
Kate, did you have something?
I do, I have two things. Looking at the recommendations when we did the enrollment study, was to talk about this. I'm curious how the board feels and what we think about a utilization study. Obviously, we're talking about the possibility of moving our students, and, it's a big change to the community, if that happens. And so I think it is a good idea that we do a utilization study and look at all of our buildings and what are we using and what are we not, and how could we better use it possibly. When I heard about this recommendation and I looked it up, and it even in offices, they come in and look just at the space and say, it would be better if you use this over here because then you would have better utilization of how this works. And I just think that would be amazing to have someone look at our entire district, each building, using or utilizing that we can better, use for learning and education. So, as a new business.
If we're going to have one, is that what you're?
Well,
I don't know have we ever done that before?
could we have one? It was recommended to us by another report. And I'm thinking that if we're going to make a big change to our district, we should probably look at what space are we using properly? What space could we use better? Before we make a big decision, I think it'd be nice to.
Might dovetail well into the strategic plan.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I'm not sure how anyone else feels about it or what anyone
I
thinks,
think
but.
it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it is. It's a very good
I don't-
idea.
To do it before the decision is made, though?
Well, I think that would be smart.
I think some of it could be.
You know, at the time.
I think, but also,
Yeah, but
you have to kind of function with the new model, then doing it allows you to maybe let everybody live in the space as it is more efficient and do more with it.
I'm just going back and thinking, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but when you moved into your house, remember, and you bought your house, and you thought of the changes that you wanted to make to your house when you were first there, and then after you lived there a while, you realized that that would not have functioned well. So I think what Nicole is saying, it is really, you might have to live with something first. If a change happened, we might have to live with that. But in the process, before we get there, we might be able to do that. But I think we have to see how it fits first before we go, and you want to look at the elementary buildings you're talking
Oh,
about.
I mean our entire district. I think it would be silly for us to make a decision. Kids, starting in September.
Well, I think
Right.
we're only changing the lives of like 200.
No, I'm counting 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. That would be in Macapan. It does change their school environment and their culture and their climate. Things will change and it will be different, right? Whether it's absolutely amazing. I think it would be good to look at our district, and maybe everyone decides that they want to do it after. I'm proposing that we do it before. I also don't know how long this would take, but our enrollment study didn't take that long. It was only like 3 weeks.
Well, the reason the enrollment didn't take is because it was already done.
And because they didn't really need to come out and go into the buildings.
They just piggybacked off of another study that they did, and they just did the
They just updated all the information.
they just updated the information. It had been done, and they just picked up on it. Terry, go ahead. I'll let you go next.
Are we talking about moving these sixth graders into Macapan this coming September? That seems awfully fast to me. I mean, into six.
Yeah.
It seems, I was hoping that
Quick.
we'd wait like the extra plan. I think we're moving too fast. That's just.
I'm going to go to Nicole, and then we'll come back.
I think that as part of what they're doing with Macapan, they are taking all that into consideration. I mean, they're saying, over the last, couple decades of, time, how many kids were just among the 7th and 8th graders, you know, the enrollment has gone down so much. When you look at the total capacity, the school can handle it. And then it's, you know, they're looking at, you know, can the 7th and 8th graders be in this wing, and then the 6th graders down here, and then they use those science, I mean, so I think that's all part of that process. So I think that outside of Macapin, what you're saying isn't a bad idea, but again, I think, you know, you need to get the current 5th graders out, you know, see how things happen, you know, Macapin will adjust, and then look at all of the space. I think do all of this at the same time and make that happen by September.
Right.
Deborah.
So the other two grades, they don't know any different because they've never been in Macapin, so they've never been together. With the utilization study, utilize it, is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess, yeah, I am saying that. I'd also then ask the company that recommended it, why did you recommend that? They must see something, right? Like, if they're making these recommendations to us, right?
They
get paid to do it. They get paid to do it. As a consultant, they are going to get paid.
Okay.
I think the other thing too is.
But they already did the work, so we paid them twice.
Right? The utilization study might also show us something else. Like, it might show us we have space that we don't have anything to utilize it for. So, like, keep that in mind.
That's part of exactly why I would bring that up, right? We know that financial, like that we're losing money. So are we using our space? Are we using it properly? Can we save money someplace somehow? Is there, you know, and about functioning an entire school district properly and doing things the absolute best way that we could. It's not just about the 6.
So when I say that, right, I'll take that one step further. It could show us that we're not using space correctly, and it could say, hey, you know what, maybe we don't need 6 elementary schools, and like, I'm not one for not having 6 elementary schools. So that, like, I'm just saying, we have to be aware that that's a piece, that's something we might get. Again, not that it's wrong to do it or not do it.
But then we have that recommendation and can discuss it, you know? Because if you live in this community, you know people are afraid of it, and you know they're discussing it already. So why don't we hire someone to tell us their opinion rather than, and I respect everyone that's been on every subcommittee, but everyone that's in there has their opinion before they even walked in the room on these big decisions and whatever. So we'd be hiring someone outside to come in, a professional to tell us because of how it's going to benefit themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, at this point, I think they're really going to cloud the
We haven't
water.
addressed which issue.
We haven't addressed the Macapin issue before we go and look at the utilization. Whatever we decide to do with Macapin and the move, we should handle that now, because that's been under the microscope now for a few, you know, like 6 months. And
that's been recommended to us by professionals outside that we've hired.
what has been recommended?
I'm just saying, has this been something, it's okay.
Well, so I'll say,
Wait, I'm
I'm just, so I think
yeah.
I think what she's saying is that,
I just
so
want to make sure
are
we're
we,
making the best decisions.
are we moving those students there, and it has been recommended that Macapin can handle that? I mean, I know that for a lot of years, Macapin had 800
Right.
plus students,
Yeah.
right? We know that. I do, parents to
And
now.
we've got to look at, I mean, we have to look at, I know everybody's talking about the building and the utilization. activities are they going to be in? I mean, you have to look at the whole student, just not the building.
Nicole, then Debbie.
I mean, I think to that point, that is all part of what's on the table now. We've looked at the teacher certification, we feel comfortable that the teachers are, we have enough of them. I think they're looking at the schedules. I know, my point was gonna be that I know, amongst all this conversation, it's bubbled up with, talking to other schools about the different kinds of scheduling and the block scheduling, and I forget what all the names are for the different types of schedules, but where we might think that we could benefit from changing the schedule, but they've acknowledged we can't do everything at the same time. So to do this for September and, get all the information, you can only bite off so much, and they want to do it. I think everybody wants to do it the right way. And I agree that it's aggressive, but I think a lot of noise out in the community, and I think for good reason, but I think you can't add all, you can't now at the 11th hour add these other things in. I don't saying, okay, well, here's what's left, here's where we are with all these other spaces, figure it out, because it could be an evolution, it could be eye-opening, down the road. I don't feel that it's necessary to do before the maximum.
Debbie.
I was fine with everything you were saying, Kate, until I be perceiving this incorrectly, that you're feeling as an outside firm would do a better job than those that have vested interest in our district to meet in subcommittees. I have heard and seen people who came in with the mindset of one and changed their mind to another. I think we sometimes underestimate those who are who have something to do with what's going on with the moving the fifth graders over to Macapan. Okay. I like the idea, but again, if we start throwing something else in the mix, I think it's going to really muck up what we're doing right now, which has I can speak the English language, obviously not. So I think we need to keep it the way it is. And then after the decision has been made one way or the other, I mean, I know how I feel, I may or may not be around for that, but no, I wasn't thinking. Yeah.
Dave?
Do we have a drop dead date in mind when we say we have everything we need to know to make a decision on the Macapan change? And, is there a time frame where if we go past this point, we really can't do it by September or something?
We're looking to go not past January. So we could probably be ready in December if need be. Figure out all the loose ends. So I'll present some information to the board, and it'll be sort of like this is what the recommendation is. This I would think January is.
We're comfortable with being able to
I'd be comfortable with January.
make decisions.
I wouldn't be comfortable with much later than that. I think it just that could be haphazard if it's much later than that. I think January I'm comfortable with. I've been comfortable with that all along. So
I think one of the things that we have to take into account, and this is coming from my perspective. My major goal here for whether we move the sixth grade to Macapan or not is education. Is this going to be educationally in the advantage of the students of West Milford? And are we going to be able to help move our students ahead educationally? The building and all of the other stuff that plays into part, that's really the administration's job to make that work. They make it work on unfortunately. As far as the amount of students that are going to be in Macoupin, there's still going to be less students in Macoupin than were there at their peak. What I was very impressed with in sitting in these committees is the answers that Mark has put together, the committee, the administrators themselves. Mark and his team have put a lot of hours into looking at this. I mean, I've sat on this and I've heard this kind of discussion for 20 years. The kids, when you look at other districts and you talk to people from other districts, we've sat with other boards. The 6, 7, 8 model is really where our kids should be. That to me was one of my driving forces in saying, let's look at this study. I agree with you that I feel too that we should be looking at the utilization of the elementary buildings. We have to do that, whether, now, which is Macoupin, and then maybe the next step is to look at to do a utilization. What we need to do, but I don't think we should be clouding that water with another project to look at that will just take away months of stuff that has already been put in. Right.
So, Alex, you feel it would be better to get this out to the current board as it's constructed now in December, as opposed to, right, if we get 3 new people come, they're going to have to get speed, and they might go, hey, I need to wait before I do this.
I mean,
You think it could be ready December?
It really is.
Depends on our last round, because some of the, I don't know when the last round committees are.
I don't know how it could be ready in September. You're talking about having a
No,
concrete.
he's talking about the report.
I know, but I'm saying you have.
It sounds like
I think-
Mark,
yeah, but
Citro,
there
and
is a
his
plan.
team have done that work,
I've heard
so.
it, but
Well,
I want to see it.
Well,
I
that's
wanna
what
see it. Okay.
That's what the point of what Alex was saying, where is the plan, is for him to come before us and show us where they ended up after all of this and what they're projecting for us to do at Macoupin.
Oh, I don't disagree with the 6th to 8th grade model. Like I said, I'm concerned with the educational part. Your 6th graders at the elementary level are not going to be taught or given the same curriculum that they're going to be in a middle school model.
Right.
There's going to be a difference, and we've got to be ready for that.
I mean, that's all part of this report, am I correct? That we're looking at that. So it's really up to the board. It does not matter to me.
The vendors who prepare materials for 6th to 8th grade students, they assume that 6th graders are in a middle school model. So our current curriculums and our current programs that we have in place do support a middle school model. And for our math, for example, we have Glencoe, which is a course 1, 2, and 3 series. We're offering course 1 at the 6th grade level. Course 2 and 3 are 7th and 8th grade. So we have some problems with that implementation, having them not in the same building with that sort of continuum with the math department that's a little bit cohesive. So there are pros and cons, but in terms, if one of your concerns is curriculum based,
Right.
our curriculum support the 6, 7, 8 model because that's what the are expecting when they sell to 6th through 7th, 8th grade sort of environments.
Might actually save us, possibly. We don't know what it would say. We don't know. I'm not sure how it would take away can always be done. It might provide new ideas. It might tell us nothing new. But the study that we did have done made recommendations that we get to decide if we want to follow or not anyway, as we're doing right now in this discussion. So if it made recommendations, it certainly wouldn't mean that we would have to follow them. So I just don't see really, and right now we have so many different things on the table. I think the utilization study just within itself outside of the McApin decision is a really good idea. And I just wanted to say that. And I would never think lower of anyone with a vested interest. Being, my child, the 5th generation in West Milford, obviously I would hold that to be most important. But we hire professionals to give us, like we have Kathy Hellowa, who's we're going to pay $4,000 to help us write our strategic plan. We hire professionals.
Nicole?
I agree with where you're coming from, Kate. I think that the point is if we agreed to move forward with the utilization study, it's going to decide what we do with McApin. But outside of the elementary schools, I feel like in all of these discussions, it's not as needed for McApin. So to hold up the work that's being done to get this implementation in place for September, when they have a really, like Mark and team have a really good sense of how they're going to use the space in McApin to accomplish this, the study would hold that up. I mean, we wouldn't move forward until we got those results back if it was all comprehensive. So that's why I go back to, let's parcel it out, get this piece done. There's a lot to be done. Then you take a look at it. And if there's findings that come out of it after the fact, that's great, but I think I feel like they have a really solid sense of where they need to make adjustments and make everything in now that.
Dave?
Yeah, I think the utilization study is a good idea. I think we should find that long, and once a decision is made from McApin, if it's to go ahead with it, any results we see in that study could maybe be contingent upon that. We wouldn't hold
Right.
up McApin based on the results, but I don't think it would take a tremendous amount of time for this study. If we said next month, let's go for it, we'd probably have the results maybe in February, something like that, and that could possibly enhance the plans with McApin, or have no impact at all, but at least we have something else to look at.
So, we're not taking action here. We're just, this was
Yeah.
all pure
Discussion.
discussion.
All discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there's no motion that's on the floor or
I have
anything.
one other comment. Is there a way that our superintendent, director of education, our director of special services could do that utilization study for us?
Never,
I think you want
Oh,
outside.
okay. I didn't know. I just thought
What?
saving money.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they'll tell us to be anything, but I don't know. Why would we not look at it?
Well, I think we have to find out how much it would cost,
And how long it would take.
and how long it would take,
Yeah.
Information on it.
And
Absolutely.
And if you can have the contingency, that's a good point.
it shouldn't, it shouldn't,
No.
Get the parameters of it and see what's involved, how long it takes and the cost.
my other question is, why are we paying $4,000 for a strategic planning thing if we're paying school board dues?
you have to,
Outside of it.
it's outside of it,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, darn.
It's like when you do a superintendent search with them.
Pay for that,
You have
too.
to pay for that too.
Or if you want to be part of the policy
Yeah,
service.
it's all of
Then what
that.
are we paying dues for?
Well,
So
you pay
Kathy can
dues
come
for
in
the
here and sell
annual
you the other stuff.
conference.
Huh?
You pay dues for your monthly meetings.
Your training,
Okay.
Your training.
the retreat we
Yeah.
did.
any other new business?
I guess just the last question I have is there was just talk about December or
You can.
Can I?
You can.
You have the
Just-
gavel.
Okay. It's just that we're not under an action.
Well, there's no action, but you can do a straw poll or
Okay.
at least get people's opinions while you sit
You could
here.
each give your opinion on when you would want the report back, if you want it to be in December or if you want it to be in January. Alex seems like he
December.
can be ready, but
Ready by
Just get to the
December. I would caution you, though, that taking board action on this during the period before the meeting, that's a different question.
okay, but we wouldn't take action. Okay.
That's okay, but you've got new board members that would need to be part of this.
Right,
Okay.
part of the discussion.
December.
Well, let me go with Kate.
I don't know. I'd love to see the presentation in December and vote on it in January, so that if I have questions and things I wanted to look into.
Way or the other.
Yeah, I know.
Would we get it before the board meeting then?
I can have it to the board.
Like a committee or something?
Board meets a Tuesday, we usually get your packet Friday, like then.
Yeah.
Something makes it crazy.
If not sooner.
Well,
I wanna vote on
will
this
you
one.
have it sooner because you still,
One more committee meeting.
yeah?
I know, I
We'll get
have
that as soon as we can.
So then I guess my vote is officially January, because that's what we told the community from the very beginning. And the letter that went out in June was that the board would be voting on this in January. And so I wouldn't want to change that in November.
We're talking about two different things, right? When do we get the presentation and when do we vote on it? Like, are we?
Yeah, well, you really, it would put in the new board members at a distinct disadvantage if we do the presentation in December. Inviting them to sit in on the presentation.
And they knew that when they were running, because they
Right.
got the
Right.
letter, they all got the letter in June.
And they were
But
out. I want to see it in December, as soon as I can see it.
you want to vote on it in December? Yeah.
Debbie?
Sorry. I would prefer it to be in December, but if it's in January, it's in January.
Dave?
I think December.
Nicole?
I think I'm with December.
January.
And I'm really okay either way, to be honest with you, so the majority is December, so I'm okay with December. I mean, we can still have it, and if we feel that we can't come to a conclusion after
Right.
that, we can look at it,
Table until the next
table
month.
it till January. I think that's,
I mean, I think when we picked January, if I remember correctly, we weren't sure if we could get all the information done in and that's why we made it a January date. But things happen, things fluid. I mean, you know what I mean? Because we want to take,
well, let's not.
I know.
Could be snowed out
I'm
in
so sorry.
December.
We're not talking about snow.
Whoa.
Let's not go to snow.
She'll be in Florida by then.
She's in trouble now.
Yeah, I know.
I-
I'm in trouble all night.
I think if you can get it out into our packets, let us look at it. We can have a better sense of it
Right.
once we get in our packets. And more discussion, because this is a topic that, no matter who has to make the decision, it's going to be a difficult topic. So, and I would definitely
That's what I was
send, we should put it out to the 3 new board members that December's meeting, that meeting will have a presentation so that if we're not going to act on it, that they can see what's going on and have the same input and information.
So can we make an announcement somehow or put it on the
There you go.
So, okay, are we, any other new business? I need a motion to close new business.
Motion to close new business?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public comment. This portion of the meeting is open to members of the public having a legitimate interest in the actions of the board for the purpose of addressing any subject matter pertinent to and/or directly related to the operations of the West Milford Public School District. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be recognized by the chair first. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting, other all speakers are asked to sign the register, provide and give their full name, spell their last name, group affiliation, a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and respectful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged, and the board and the administration will not respond to them. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded to them by the laws of New Jersey. The board is not responsible and is not liable for any comment made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments. Members of the public are reminded that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone wishing to speak during public comment? Okay, we need a motion for executive session, sorry.
Okay, move to go into executive session at for the purpose of discussing personnel appointments, resignations, current litigation matters, executive session minutes will not be released until such time as the privilege or confidentiality is no longer applicable.
Need a second.
Need a second?
I did. We will be approximately 30 minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
An action will be taken.
And action will be taken afterwards.
Good night. 30 minutes and be in my pajamas. I got the.
Mrs. Dwyer,
Here.
Mrs. Fritz,
Here.
Mr. Ovchinsky,
Here.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Here.
Mrs. Romeo,
Here.
Mr. Greeno,
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Here. Mrs. Dwyer.
Okay. Move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the following HIBs. 2020H4 unsubstantiated, 2020H5 substantiated.
Discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Mrs. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. Ovchinsky.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz,
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes. Need a motion? Close the,
Motion to adjourn at 9:34.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Turkey Day.
I'm going to be at Atlanta.
Oh, are you going to have turkey?
No, I don't know what we're eating. My son's in Atlanta.